The world-renowned logo designer Saji Haviv described a good logo as something that have at least two of the following three qualities. First, the logo has to be appropriate. Second, the logo has to be distinctive. And third, the logo has to be simple. By appropriateness, he meant that the logo has to represent the message, the vision, and the mission of the brand or the social campaign. When people look at it, the viewers have to create an association in their mind about what the campaign stands for. Second, by distinctiveness, he meant that the logo has to be memorable. When people see it has to make a lasting impression in the viewer's mind. It's the opposite of ordinary or commonplace. Third, the logo has to be simple. It has to be made with simple shapes or geometries. It has to be simple enough so that it would still look good when scaled down or created or printed in banners or tarpaulins or printed on shirts or displayed in social media. When we think of a modern logo, a good example would be the symbol of the Olympics or the 5 Olympic rings. It's only made up of 5 circles that are in different colors, but there's a lot of symbolisms behind it. First of all, the 5 rings represent the 5 continents that are playing in the said Olympic Games. The rings are interlocked to show the union of the 5 continents or the solidarity of the 5 continents. And the black, the blue, the red, and the yellow and green colors represents the colors of the flags, which means that you can find these colors in the flags of the participating countries. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss how the group of students of the Plastic Free campaign designed their logo. They first thought of a way to make the logo as appropriate as possible to their campaign. They want it to be representative of what the campaign is about. So what they did first is to think about different words that is um, closely related to their campaign. So obviously they started with the brand name or the campaign name, which is Plastic Free. But ocean is also a very good word here. What they did is to create a mind map for each of these 3 words: plastic, plastic free, and ocean. So for plastic, they thought about the different plastics or types of plastics that ends up in the ocean, like plastic bottles of water, plastic bags, or cups of bottles, or cups of soft drink cans, or even straws. When they think of plastic free, the words association or without comes to mind. Or if we have a plastic free ocean, that means that the ocean is clean or thriving with life. When they thought of ocean, several words are important, like waves or water, obviously, or fish and sea turtle, which are marine life that are always victim of plastic pollution. After mind mapping, they started with sketching their ideas of these words or representing these words in visual form. So here we can see different forms of bottles. So most of them are long neck like this. Some of them have hips that are meant for holding or for gripping like this. Some of them are looks more like water bottles, such as the last one. Straws can be as simple as a cylinder, or it can be more detailed, like a bendable straw like this one. Here, cups are shown like this one. So here the cups are more rectangular than circular and kind of looks like a hat or a top hat. Here, the cups have bridges on the sides. Here is an image of a plastic bag that looks like a sando. And then here is an image of a plastic bag which has been tied at the edges or at the lips, which they thought was really interesting because it looks like it can sort of like a fish actually. The word plastic free was a little bit more challenging to represent in paper or in visual form. How do you represent something that is not present or something that is absent? So the best thing that they were able to come up with is drawing a box like this, and inside is an outline of a bottle that is shaded to represent that the bottle is not there or have been cut out. Here, they draw a question mark and some lines to show that the bottle are missing. Even the word clean was very difficult to represent in paper. They were able to remember commercials of dishwashing liquids, and in those commercials, plates after being washed are shown with these kinds of shapes to show that they are um, gleaming or they are clean and free of any sort of dirt. Now, the ocean is, I suppose, easier to represent. You can draw fishes in different ways. Waves, they can show like this. The turtle, as simple as this one. Water can be represented as a drop or as a liquid inside a glass. So after all of this sketching and doodling and representing, you can proceed, or they proceeded with um, creating this or turning these sketches into visual forms. So here is a symbol or an icon that they produce for the bottles. You can imagine that they use rounded rectangles here and a half a circle here and some sort of a small square right here, and then removes a portion, a circular portion right here, and added some for the ribs or for the handle part or portion right here. Here they try to exaggerate the handle portion of the bottle by subtracting a larger circle on the side of the bottle. Here they thought of combining two ideas together. So they try to combine the idea of a bottle and the waves. So by sort of like placing waveforms on the body of the bottle. Although now they thought that it now looks like flippers or puddle of swimmers. And then they try to simplify the plastic bottle as or reducing it into rectangular shape like this. You can also see that they are experimenting with the colors that they want to use, the shade of blue that they want to use for the plastic free campaign here. Now here's another representation of a bottle and a wave that they thought of. What if we don't have to show the bottle as a whole bottle? What if only half is shown and there are outlines of waves on its body? Or what if the wave is at the bottom of the bottle? Here, they represent the concept of absence or being plastic free by cutting out the shape of a bottle from a square, a blue square, to represent the ocean. Here, the bottle is only half, but they thought that it looks like a violin in this case. Now, for the fish, they use an almond shape for the body and a quarter, some sort of like a quarter circle for, or um, a half circle rather, for the tail. And they really like the idea of the waves that looks like scales of the fish. So they did it like this. And then here in this one, they come up with a different kind of more distinct fish, which is really the logo that they choose for the campaign. So they put some circles for the eyes and reduce the scales into two waves like this. And instead of creating a half a circle tail, they actually made it look like a cup of the bottle, the tail. So here they were able to merge three ideas into one, which they thought makes their logo distinctive or more memorable, while still becoming or while still being appropriate to the campaign. So it's a combination of three ideas or representation: the representation of a fish, the plastic bottle cup, and the waves for the scale. But then they didn't give up easily on the other representation. They tried to partner it with um, the name of the brand and choosing different typographies that can go with it. So here is one of the variations that they were able to come up with. So here they chose this typography. They really like how the E look like um, the tails of the fish, especially this part in the middle, and how this hyphen sort of look like a wave. Here is another configuration, or the way they are thinking of stocking the or breaking into two the brand name plastic free. Here they're trying to they try to make this particular logo more squarish, to think of how it would look like when it's not too rectangular like the first one. Here they try to experiment with a much simpler typography, but they don't think it has that much of a personality or memorable enough. Here they try to use the representation for absence or without the logo that they were able to come up from that concept or from that idea. And the chosen typography here was really also interesting to them, especially the I's and the L's and the way they look like plastic bottles actually. And then the E here looks like tridents. So that was interesting to them. Here is another one, although they didn't think this one was that successful. Now, when they try these combinations, I think that they are really finding this combination of logo and typography. They really like the combination or how they are turning out together. So they try to create or to put them in circular backgrounds in black and white or inverted colors, since they're going to use this as a logo in Instagram, and profile pictures in Instagram will appear like this when viewed on the newsfeed or on your feed. And one of the very good litmus tests is to put the logo and the brand name on a sample post like this. And this is how they were able to settle with this fish logo with Plastic Cocktail.